Got this lovely dash cam I'm going to install in my 2025 Toyota Tacoma. It's from Umbar, and it's got the front camera that's 4K, and it's got the rear camera, which is 1080. And also on this front camera, it's got this other camera that faces the inside of the vehicle and captures sound and everything from the inside if you're wanting it to as well, which could be helpful, I guess. But I'm going to walk through opening this up and then how to install it. Now here's the open box. It's got some paperwork and it's got some other stuff. And actually this is good for a 5-year warranty, which is just fantastic. Really great to know. And this box right here is your power cords and all that good stuff and your stickies. And then here's the 2 cameras. So we have this front camera right here, which is your 4K. And then it also has that camera for inside the vehicle. So, and then a big screen right here. So we'll get that all installed. And then we have this smaller camera here, which hooks in, looks out your rear window. So excellent stuff. So let's start working on this. One thing to note, this has really excellent night vision, which is going to be great for anything that may happen at night. Plus this thing has a mega card. It's got a 128 gigabyte card that it just drives, and it just keeps them. And then when it finally reaches the full 128 megabytes or gigabytes, then it starts deleting the oldest. So you always have this constant run of however far back it goes, 128 gigabytes. So a few things in here I want to share real quick. So this is your little mini SD card that goes in the camera itself, and you can actually pull this out, and this is the adapter, so you can actually put it into an SD card slot if you don't have a mini. It's got nice long cords for both the cameras to plug in and connect to each other. It's got a lot of these little things, so if you're running cords across like a window or a dash or anything like that, these can help keep them concealed pretty well. If you really want to have a sticker like this on your car, letting people know, it's up to you. And then this tool is always a lifesaver. This helps you to push the cords. Like if you're running it up here, you can push them into the upholstery and seals so that you can keep the cords running without even seeing them. So excellent little tool. This is going to come in much handy. And also lastly, the alcohol prep pad. Anytime you're going to stick something to a window, always make sure you clean it up real nice first so there's no oils or dust or anything, because we want to have a good stick from the get-go. When installing these cameras, always be aware of where you're putting it, because you don't want to block your view in your windshield. But also you need to be aware of, like, do you have any defrost vents that might get in the way? So like on this one, I'm going to have to put it more towards the driver's side so I'm not blocking those defrosting vents. So just keep that in mind. And I want to try to not miss anything. So this is where you put that micro SD card right there. But also when this camera is up, you might ask, well, how do I get to that card when it's up? Well, this actually slips forward and pops out. So you can take the camera down while this stays connected to your windshield. Okay, I got this nice and cleaned up with the alcohol wipe, and I've let it dry really good so that I don't have any moisture or anything stuck under there. So I'm going to get this guy stuck on there. So just make sure it's got a nice firm stick on there. And then ba-bam, I got my camera loaded. And I like to put it up high so that it's a little bit kind of behind my rear view mirror, because I don't want it like up in my face, distracting, blocking anything. This is recording, so I don't necessarily have to worry about like what's on the screen. I can always just duck under and look real quick if I need to, but just so you know why I like to put mine up nice and high like that. Now, moving to the passenger side of the vehicle, I like to do the plug-in running over the passenger side, because you're going to have to come down usually and then tuck it underneath to get it to plug in where it needs to go. And I don't want that running down and anywhere near my pedals. So I like to do the power this way. And then the rear camera, I'll go over the top and then work my way back to the back. Now, this part can seem intimidating, the running the wires, like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Where do I go? It's not that difficult. You don't have to like run wires like over or anything like that. We can make it look nice and neat, and that's why they give us these little stickies so we can run the wire on the window if we need to. So like in this case, I'm gonna wanna bring the wire here and then run it just along this until I get up to the upholstery fabric where I can actually tuck it away. So this will work just fine, and the cord will be above my defroster, so it won't be a problem there. And then it'll work good. The other option is if you really wanted to, you could just come straight up into here, into the upholstery, and then work your way down, which might be a good way. I'm going to kind of play with it and see which way I want to go with it. So I noticed behind my rear view mirror, it's got this clip here. So the cord can actually go straight up into here and go straight to the upholstery and out. So I don't have to have this running on my window. So definitely look around, see if there's any ways you can run the cord without it being visible if possible. But in this case, it's going to work out good for me. Now here's where some fun begins, but now we're going to start going under this upholstery stuff. You may or may not need the tool for this part. The upholstery that comes across your windshield is usually pretty easy to tuck cords into. It's when you start getting into the side things that it becomes an issue. So I like to make sure it's up nice and in there, nice and hooked, so that it doesn't come falling down while you're driving or going over bumps. So that's up there pretty good. You can even use your tool just to make sure you have a nice hook in there. Okay, so now that we're over here, I'm gonna go ahead and run under this thing right here and then run it down, and then should be able to run it through like the weather stripping back here all the way down until I can hook it right under the whole dash compartment thing here. And still fairly easy to get it tucked in, so that's great. But if you ever need it, that tool is totally available. And then sometimes the cool thing about like this weather stripping is you can actually get hold of it and you can kind of push the cord down as you go, pushing it nice and deep into that weather strip. This is an area where that tool is coming in really handy. So I'm able to take the cord with the tool and tuck it back in there. That way I can get behind this weather stripping as much as possible to follow it all the way down. All right, so we're through, we are down, we are under this weather strip all the way down to here. So now we're going to start making our way under the compartment here. That was a very easy tuck there. Now we're going to make our way this way. I'm going to come here if I can, and then at some point, it's going to have to break off the cord so I can plug it in the lighter right there. Some of these connections are just super easy to get the cord underneath and just pop it right under there. And it's got kind of a lip, so it easily takes care of itself. So you might find this is a lot easier than you think it is. It's really not that intimidating. And this Tacoma is going to make this even more sleek. I can actually get back up in here between that to run the cord up here. And then it'll go over here and it'll just come right down inside here to the cigarette lighter. So that is going to be sleek. You're not going to see any cord. Okay, so cord goes right up in there, goes right up along here, through there, down here, down the side here, underneath, comes out, goes under here, and then behind this, over this, and then still leaves us room to spare to get this plugged in wherever it needs to get plugged in. So it is quite a bit of cord. You're going to find this is going to work very well. All right, now we're going to run the cord for the rear camera. And this usually seems to be the easiest in my opinion, because whether you have a car or a truck, SUV, usually doesn't matter, because we're going to go from the camera up, and then we're going to go through the upholstery, and the upholstery usually goes right across, even between the doors. There's this easy to tuck, and then right to the back window. So it's usually really easy, just tucking. That's all it really is. So I'm going to get started on this. And this cord is usually a lot longer because it's running to the rear camera. And of course, they don't know if you're in an SUV or a truck. So like me in a truck, I'm going to want to store some extra cord wherever I can. So if I feel like this can hold a bunch of cord up here, then I might stuff some here and kind of measure back and see if there's anywhere else I can stuff. So I don't have a ton of cord stuffed in one specific spot, but just keep that in mind. Might be good to even start from the back and work your way forward and tuck wherever you can. Either or, doesn't really matter, but there's going to be places to tuck. Making our way along pretty well. Have come all the way over here. Just going to keep going along here, going along there, go back here, and then work towards the back. So nearly done with this. All right, we are installed in the back, and you know, I could have put it down here, but being that it's a truck and truck bed and everything, I want it to be as high as possible so it could see over the truck bed. One thing that's cool about these can spin all the way around. So like if your lens was dirty or whatever, you could clean it and then spin it back. So that's a cool feature in case that ever becomes an issue. So just so you know. All right, we are locked. Everything is plugged in and ready to go. I'm gonna start the truck and we'll get the stickers off. And it's gonna do a little chime every time it comes on. So just to let you know what that chime sounds like. So once everything powers up, that's the truck. There's the chime for your dash cam. So let's get that peeled there. So we're gonna walk through, set things up. Buttons are on the bottom, so English. Los Angeles time. And then being in America, I'm gonna do miles per hour.
All data will be deleted.
Yep, we're setting up for the first time.
Format successful. Please connect the app update time.
All right, so now we are online and we are recording. You can see that there's the rear camera right there. There's this other camera I haven't uncovered yet, and then there's the front-facing camera. And I believe you can change the way you see these. You can take away one view or whatever. So I'm gonna mess with this a little bit and then I'll show you. Okay, I got all that updated. So here's the view right now. You can see that it's got my front view and then it's got my rear view. And actually you can see that my rear view is upside down. I didn't realize I placed the camera the wrong way, but we should be able to fix that. Okay, we're home now and I want to walk through a few things with this. You can actually change a lot of different settings on this. You can have it where it goes to like a screensaver, so it's not showing what's on the camera right now. But I have mine on always on display. You can also see what cameras are going right now being recorded with those red areas right there, hard to see. But let's get this up. So there's like emergency recording if you want it. I'm not exactly totally sure what that's all about, but you can hit that and it'll go into like emergency recording mode.
It's locked.
So I guess it locks on whatever it's on, but I'm going to stop that. And then to actually change settings, you have to stop the recording and then you can hit the menu button. And in here, there's tons of different stuff you can change: resolution, how you want the loop recording with it, like how many minutes, different settings for G sensor, the Wi-Fi, the GPS setting, obviously your time zone and all that stuff. You can change the volumes on if you want the buttons to make noise, how loud you want the voice to be, or if you want it off completely. You can also change if you want it recording sound inside or not. So I've turned mine to no. Obviously language, and it's got some other stuff like headlights reminder, different other things that are in here that I'm not sure I'll use, but it's cool to know that they're in here. And also you can format the card and all that kind of good stuff. So lots of different options in here. I'm going to back out of this. So, and to change your display, it's just this button right here, which will jump through your different displays here to show you what options you have, whether you want picture in picture, you just want picture in picture of inside camera and outside camera, all three cameras right there, or maybe you just want your front camera. So different ways. It's still going to record all three. This is just showing you what you want to see on the screen. So don't think that you have to set it up to record all three on your screen. But yeah, this camera is pretty slick, easy to install. Has the option, so it comes with a 1-year limited warranty, but if you activate it within 30 days of getting it, it's a 5-year free warranty. Comes with everything you need to install it. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some footage of what this looks like at night and wrap this video up. So this is just taking a night drive, just driving around town. You can tell even in the dark, this is super clear. It's got lots of clarity, very little glare. This is driving on the highway right here, and it's just a beautiful image. Highly recommend this camera.